Dear Masters, I welcome you. My name is Ekaterina Boyarkova, and I'm the founder of Kettik Studio. So many masters and colleagues know me by the name Kettik. Today we're together on my permanent makeup course, which is dedicated to machine hair strokes. This is probably the most interesting and the most complex technique in permanent makeup right now. Therefore, I recommend taking this course only to masters who already have basic training. If you've already done eyebrows using the shading technique, then this course will definitely suit you. But if you're a beginner and don't know what permanent makeup is, then I advise you to take a step back, complete basic training, and then return to hair strokes. That's my recommendation to you. In this course, I've gathered all my experience that I've accumulated with hair strokes and really want to show you, using simple words and clear techniques, how to master this complex procedure. Throughout my journey, I've probably completed more than 10 different hair stroke courses. I'm very grateful to my instructors who helped me master this complex technique. And today's hair stroke is completely different from what we did 5 years ago. 5 years ago, we learned to do hair strokes that were more voluminous, fluffy, more shadowy. Now, all masters have taken a course toward thinner and sharper hair strokes. In this course, I'll show you how to master the technical side of creating crisp, fine hair strokes. But this doesn't mean at all that we'll only focus on this technique and no other hair stroke creation options will be unknown to us. We'll learn to do thick hair strokes, fluffy hair strokes, and thin hair strokes. We'll expand our horizons, and I'll tell you how they differ technically, how to create thin hair strokes, how to create thick hair strokes. You will be fully informed and master all hair stroke variations, knowing exactly where and when to apply each one. I'd also like to mention that my work and professionalism have been recognized at international permanent makeup competitions. I have repeatedly participated in WULOP. I live in Serbia, and I participated in ULOP representing my country. I've stood on the top of the podium at WULOP, taking first place once and second place another year in the hair stroke category. I've also secured first place titles at other major world championships, including Worlds and Bravista. My work has been recognized and highly valued by world-renowned masters and colleagues in the hair stroke community. And that is exactly why I'm now ready to share my technique and craftsmanship with you. I'll show you how I see hair strokes and exactly how we will be creating them throughout this course. I'm not here to ask you to replicate my work down to the millimeter or be a mirror image of how I do hair strokes. We're all very individual, so I'll share several options for creating hair strokes and explain which techniques to apply in different cases. Our goal is to find the exact approach that makes you feel comfortable and at ease, so you can create hair strokes while staying true to your own individuality. That's the first point. Second point, I'm not going to tell you to go out and buy a specific brand of pigments or 10 different bottles or some expensive machine costing €1,000. If you have experience in permanent makeup, your current pigments and machines will do just fine for what we're going to do. We'll set up your machines in a way that makes them friends with your hand, so you can create magnificent hair strokes. And from your collection, we'll select exactly the pigments that will work best for us. So, it's a very important point. I'm not here to persuade you to acquire or buy anything new. You have everything. You just need to gain knowledge and start doing hair strokes. What will be in my hair stroke course? I've divided my course into 3 units. These are the paper unit, the latex unit, and finally the practice unit on a live model. The paper unit is absolutely crucial. I love this block. My basic course also starts with paper. Let me explain why. Because when we hold a pencil or a pen and draw on paper, every mistake becomes visible. We are building hand control. It helps us understand our hand's range of motion and its capabilities. We start training the hand, feeling the amplitude of our movements and sensing exactly how the pen touches the paper. We see what kind of mark it leaves. And let's say that as artists, We will approach the creation of every single hair stroke in exactly the same way. You don't need to have an art education, and you don't need to have some huge talent. You need to train diligently and not skip this super important block, because on paper, we'll go through literally everything. From the stage of creating a hair stroke to the stage of drawing a complete eyebrow. Actually, when we move on to the next module, the latex unit, we'll already know the technical side of creating a hair stroke. We'll know how to do it correctly, how to create a thin beginning, a thin tail, and how to fill in the middle. At this stage, we'll start working with the device. We need to account for its weight and vibration. Each machine has its own unique feel. As we move our practice to latex, we have a needle that will pierce the latex, which brings completely different sensations. We'll be getting closer and closer to realistic work, to working on actual skin. On latex, we'll 100% practice that entire array of information that we've already studied on paper. We transfer it to latex and practice, solidify, go through it step by step again, and memorize how to make a hair stroke. And our final unit, the most exciting one, is the model unit. In this module, we're going to dive deep into the science of pigments. There will be a lesson on pigments, a very simple one, where I'll reveal a secret. To create beautiful eyebrows in either hair stroke or powder technique, you only need 2 colors and a third corrector. Or third color. This is our little secret for later. You'll see that having 10 or 20 colors is completely unnecessary. During the model unit, we'll cover pigments, design a complete sketch on a tablet, and then practice the full procedure on a live model, from the very first stroke of the sketch to the finished look. And I'd like to note that, above all, I dedicated my course to schemes. There are many different opinions out there right now. Some masters claim that schemes aren't realistic enough. They say we should focus on organic brows and move away from any kind of fixed patterns. What would I like to tell you from my experience? I believe that schemes provide the groundwork. Once you have that, you can master any variations, artistic flows, or intricate interweavings later on. But without a solid foundation and a base, it will be very difficult for you to step up to the next level and start creating those realistic, living eyebrows. Most likely, they'll be very chaotic, lacking any system or clarity. You need this step-by-step plan to understand where the hair actually grows from, how it connects, and how it flows from the tail to the head, where it should be darker and where it should be lighter. Without fundamentals, moving forward will be very difficult. Therefore, I sincerely recommend starting with schemes. Of course, we'll touch on more living drawings as well. I'll show you exactly how to bring it to life and which techniques to use. I wish you great success in this course. I encourage you to build your visual library. Follow other artists, observe their techniques, pick up interesting tips, and expand your creative vision every single day. Stay on trend in this world of hair strokes and our fascinating profession. And naturally, the most important thing I can advise you is this. Practice as much as possible. Believe me, no one is born a natural talent for hair strokes. From the very first touch of paper or latex, no one creates perfect, gorgeous hair strokes right away. Everyone practices a lot. That is why I encourage you to keep practicing, so you can master the art of creating quality, stunning, and lifelike hair strokes. We'll see each other in our next module, which is dedicated to paper. See you later.